How you feeling, family?
Oh.
So, I'm going to ask you all, I can project pretty well. I've been speaking on inner city corners for the last 7 months. Over 26 cities, over 31 corner classes outside in almost every major ghetto in America. Teaching real estate, entrepreneurship, and ownership. And I do that, and why I did that is because I came off the corner 12 years ago of Newark, New Jersey on 10th and Springfield, supplying my community with dope. As a 3-time felon who served 2.5 years in prison, 11th grade high school dropout, former welfare kid, former Section 8 kid, who decided to try to take his talents from the corner to the corner office and enter into the mortgage industry and the real estate industry, and became pretty successful. Made my first $1 million in 3 years in the industry and counting. I currently manage over $10 million in real estate and business assets. I have a school here in Buckhead, the J. Morrison Academy. Also, we have a real estate crowd fund just launched, the Tulsa Real Estate Crowd Fund, where we all can invest and pull our dollars together to buy back our blocks and buy our schools, buy our hospitals, buy our hotels, buy our farmland.
Right.
Not as a donation or GoFundMe or collection plate, but as an equity investment where we're all partners together. I only mentioned my background mostly to draw a conclusion that there were some gifts that God gave me of critical thinking and strategic thinking that allowed me to go from that corner of Newark, New Jersey, that got me through Rikers Island at 18 years old, facing 3 years of life in prison, that got me through Eastern Correctional Institution, facing 15 years in prison for drug trafficking, to running a pretty successful organization and enterprise. So a few years ago at a real estate conference in Las Vegas, I was doing my thing as a celebrity realtor. I was working for the world's leading luxury real estate company, Sotheby's International Realty. I was a celebrity realtor on NBC and also the real estate expert for NBC's Today Show. During the conference, we went to lunch, and I ran into, the conference was mostly filled with European Americans or Caucasian white people. There was a few black people in the conference, and one black woman spoke to me at lunch, and she said, "Jay, I understand you have some influence. I understand you're a celebrity realtor. You deal with some athletes, entertainers. My name is Amelia Wright. My brother is Alfred Wright. He was just lynched in Hempville, Texas. He was found in the woods with his eyes gouged out, throat slit, found naked, his tongue cut out in the woods in Hempville, Jasper area, Texas." Coincidentally enough, prior to going to Las Vegas for this conference, I was watching CNN in my condo in New Jersey, and I saw a special Anderson Cooper did where I saw a black man laying naked in the woods, body decomposed with his eyes gouged out, teeth missing, throat slit, and I shed tears in my living room. 2 days later, I wound up at a lunch with his sister, who asked for my support. I never was a part of any kind of social activism, political activism. I was an economic activist as I was teaching inner city schools about financial literacy, but I never got involved in our political or social fight. And so I said, you know what, I'll take a flight out to Jasper and I'll support your family, and I'll tweet and I'll blog and I'll post and I'll do whatever I can to draw attention to this case that struck my heart. And so I went there, and just like the mothers here who pleaded their case, I put my arms around Mrs. Wright and Reverend Wright, his father, as they talked about their 29-year-old son, who was a father of 2, and by most accounts and by all accounts we heard, a good man, but who was found lynched in the woods with this made-up narrative that he took some drugs in a parking lot, went crazy, ran off into the woods, took his clothes off, and slit his own throat, pulled his own teeth out, cut his own tongue out, and then laid there dead. This is what they want us to believe. So we protested, we demonstrated. I seen the United Black Front, the new Black Panther Party, and other groups were there. And I never seen, this is out in Jasper, I'm talking 4 hours from Houston. This is out in the Boondocks, Texas. And there's sheriffs there and KKK there and true rednecks there. But I never seen a unified body of black people stand up so assertively and so strong before in my life. They had guns, we had guns. They had rifles, we had rifles.
That's right. That's
They had strength, we had strength. And I never seen that a day in my life. And I was turned out. I said, man, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been looking for my whole life. oh, we were doing the wrong thing on the block. We fighting the wrong people. We on the corner fighting each other, but these people trying to terrorize us.
That's right.
And so, to fast forward the story, because I know we are short on time, I dove in to our history. I didn't know about COINTELPRO. I didn't know about redlining. I didn't know about vagrancy tactics. I didn't know about peonage. I didn't know about sharecropping. I didn't know about the 13th Amendment loophole that said slavery was abolished except you commit a crime. I didn't know about black codes. I didn't understand this systematic oppression and genocide and Holocaust that our people have been going through every year on year for 450 years. And so, in taking all this information and then talking to elders, and I did went on a retreat later that year in Mississippi. And I didn't want to go because it was, again, and this is about a few hours from Jackson, Mississippi. This is in the country, Mississippi. We talk about staying in trailer homes and trailer parks, and I stay in 5-star hotels. And I was like, you know, I'm not really sure about this retreat, but something in me said, Jay, go. So I went with a retreat that one of my mentors, Crystal Muhammad, who's the national chairwoman for the New Black Panther Party, I went to this retreat, and I met with some elders there and others, and we did farming, and we did handgun training, and we did educational classes, and we did yoga. During this retreat, I got a chance to speak to Baba Joe, Joseph Epps, who's the president for NCOBRA, the National Coalition for Blacks for Reparations in America. And so I got into one of these Jesus-like discussions with Baba Joe. When I say Jesus-like discussions, I'm talking about when you read in the Bible where they said Jesus went in the temples and he talked to the head priest for hours. Baba Joe and I, we talked for about 13 hours. 13 hours, I asked him every question in the book I wanted to know, because my mind works in a very critical way. This gotta all make sense to me. So I said, well, why are we being brutalized? Why haven't we got reparations? Why haven't we gotten justice? If facts show that this American government offered some kind, so when we talk about justice, right? I want to just, I like to use a whiteboard. I like to make things visual for us, right? I like to make it real for us. So we always said we want justice, but one thing, a term I learned early on in business from one of my mentors is that when you say I want to start a business, I want to flip a house, or I want a new app, or I want to develop this company, or create a crowd fund, one thing they always say next, what's that look like? Okay, you want to do it, but what's that look like? So we say we want justice, but what does justice look like though? How can we have justice if we don't even know what justice is? We've seen it. So what justice looks like, in order to have justice, there needs to be, first and foremost, some truth. There has to be some accountability, some truth. You can't have a false narrative, but then say, here's justice. And I understand it's sad that, and I've met with several of the families, right? We have to call them the families of injustice, the families of police brutality. It's sad as our community, unlike probably any community in America, that we have a category called the families. We have a fraternity called the families. But I want to talk about how the families can come together and how we can get justice. I'm going to tell us what that looks like today. So outside of truth, there has to be some redress. This truth has to be acknowledged and accountable, and there has to be some redress, meaning that the perpetrator has to make these injustices whole. There has to be some accountability for these justices. Just like when we want to use the word reconciliation or repair, or our famous word, reparation. No matter how you look at it, in order to have justice, wherever there was a crime, wherever there was an atrocity, there has to be some kind of redress, something to make that whole, to make that right. And it starts with the truth, right? And so I asked Baba Joe, I said, well, if to some degree, if America, which is still not justice, but if America acknowledged, and for our Native American brothers and sisters, they gave them back some of their own land, and gave them a domestic partner kind of class, and gave them some kind of restitution, there was some kind of attempt at justice there. And for the Japanese Americans during World War II who were put in internment camps for 2 years, America gave their Japanese descendants all reparations for 2 years in internment camps during World War II. They rounded up all Japanese Americans, were scared they was going to retaliate during the Pearl Harbor bombing, but America made whole the Japanese Americans, at least to some degree. And then if America can sponsor and help make whole German Jews for their 12-year Holocaust. We understand that America does understand redress, reconciliation, repair, and reparation. They understand it.
That's right.
They just don't understand it or act on it when it comes to us.
Right.
So I got to asking questions. I said, Baba Joe, why not the Africans in America? Because that's the first thing he asked me. Said, you African American? I said, yeah. He said, no, you ain't, boy. He said, you ain't African American. You're African in America.
Right. That's right.
He said, they taught you that. So as Africans in America, we haven't gotten any justice. I said, Baba Joe, why? We see the cases. We've been bringing it up for years. Why not? This is what he told me. He said, we've been fighting this case since the 60s. He said, we made it to Supreme Court. We got into high court. He said, a judge even told us, you guys have a great case as African Americans. You have a great case. It's similar to the Japanese Americans. This is, mind you, I'm going to repeat again. This is the president of the National Coalition for Blacks for Reparations in America, Joseph Epps. Been doing this work since before I was born, twice the age I was born. What he said to me, he said, as African Americans, the judge told him, we have no case, no standing in court to receive reparation or repair aid or reconciliation because an African American is not a technical nationality. So we fighting for something right now that we do not have the ability to actually even achieve per their courts. So, oh wow, yeah. So, you know, my next question, then what the hell we got to do to be a nationality then? Well, how we fix that?
Yeah.
Don't tell me I can't, tell me I cannot. And so this is what he told me. We did our research. So if you look at it like this, right? We're going to pretend this circle is America. The continent of America, North America, United States of America. When you look at every other community, if you look at Italian Americans, they have Italy to back them up.
That's right.
That's right.
If you look at Korean Americans, North or South Korea to back them up. If you look at Russian Americans, they can probe and spy on us and do all they just did in the election, but they still got Russia to back them up.
Right.
If you go to every nationality and ethnicity in this country, they all have someone to back them up, a nation, a country.
Right. That's right.
Who the hell is backing up Africans in America?
Right. Right.
This is why they can do what they do to our families, commit this genocide, this school to prison pipeline, this stop and frisk, this new COINTELPRO the FBI just created called Black Identity Extremists. That's just 2 weeks ago. There's a new thing they call Black Identity Extremists.
That's right.
So if I extremely identify with my blackness, I'm on their list.
Right. That's right.
Well, I know I'm on their list. I watched the HBO Vice special talking about how during the Freddie Gray, so that was my second act of protest or demonstration, I took action during the Freddie Gray uprising. I drove from New Jersey, I rented a red megahorn at Party City, I went straight to Ground Zero on North and Penn, ain't no nobody, and started yelling justice. Next thing I know, we did a march around the corner with 13 of us. We did another march around the corner, it was about 50 of us. Next time we did another march around the corner, it was 150 of us. And then a news reporter from CNN said, why don't y'all go to City Hall? I said, how far is City Hall? They said, a few miles. I said, let's go. So I marched down to City Hall with about 150 of us. I looked behind me, next time I know it's about 700 of us. And CNN covered it, Anderson Cooper, Whoop Blitzer, and all that. And the next thing I know, I was on Fox Business News debating Charles Payne about why America hates black people.
Right.
And using the facts of how the American government treats our people as my case for why I feel they hate or have antipathy towards us. So anyway, when we look at nobody backing us, what we have to do is that we have to back ourselves. Because we all we got.
That's right.
And so what he said from a technical standpoint, this is World Court human rights law. It says that if a critical mass of people who have like circumstance, if those people do what's called a plebiscite, which is all a public vote, and they vote on their nationality, and if another sovereign nation adopts them or co-signs their nationality, that group of people could then have a seat at the World Court to talk about their human rights violations, not just their civil rights. See, the problem is with us is we keep trying, and mind you, we gotta do it. I'm not knocking all the work we do in the communities, holding the police accountable, the government accountable. I'm not knocking none of that. I'm just high level. My queen will tell you, She said, baby, what color the couch is? I said, I don't care. I don't care about the small stuff. I'm always thinking about the larger level. That's just me out of the CEO's mind. I'm a visionary, I'm a leader. And so what the problem is, and Malcolm and Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan, somebody else has been saying it, the problem is we keep trying to go to the victimizer or the perpetrator, asking the perpetrator to police themselves. We asking the perpetrator to give us justice on them. That's like somebody steal your car, they take off with your car, go build wealth using your car, beat you up to take your car, but then you say, hey, I want you to punish yourself for what you just did to me. We asking Uncle Sam to hold himself accountable.
That's right.
That's not what we have to do. We have to go at least to above Uncle Sam's head to world court and bring all our families together, bring all our leaders together. All we got to do is have one leadership convening. Instead of being fragmented in different places, let's fly all the families in to one location, everybody. All the leaders in who say they about that action, you about that action, get to the meeting. And now, let's organize a Black Vote Day next year where we vote on our own nationalities as sophisticated and civilized people do. Now, as we go vote on our own nationality, and now mind you, I understand there's different ideologies. I get it. Some of us believe that we're Moors. We have our Nation of Islam brothers and sisters here. We have those things, we're Hebrew Israelites. Some say Republic of New Africa. Some say United Africans in America. I get it. So why don't we have a democratic vote? Everybody make their case and let the people, power to the people. Let the people establish what our identity, our nationality, and what our flag is. Then that unified body of people through our Black Vote Day, this is all in my book, The Solution, by the way, but I'm just giving y'all the lecture portion of it. We host our Black Vote Day. And now, say Juneteenth of next year, we host a Black Vote Day after we promote this through social media and our markets. We have an online voting system. We give some of our more influential leaders who have large constituents, maybe a little bit more of a delegate votes. We organize our vote, and now from this Black Vote Day, we establish our identity and nationality. I'm gonna tell you a few things this does. One, this allows this people that have identified themselves in a critical mass plebiscite to then talk to Ghana, talk to Nigeria, talk to Senegal, talk to African and Caribbean nations and say, hey, can you co-sign us as a sovereign nation so we can go have a seat at the World Court to talk about this genocide and police brutality and mass incarcerations and this targeted policing and this biased sentencing and everything that we suffer. That's how we get, on a macro level, how we get to actually receive some true justice. And now this unified body of people, outside of just holding America accountable for these atrocities, this unified body of people then can not only govern themselves, we can start governing ourselves, owning our own land, making unified actions for education, building our own curriculums, which we're already working on right now. We have a 30-point curriculum being made right now, 15 points of social repair, everything from parenting, anger management, conflict resolution, health and wellness, civil disobedience, civil law, African history, to 15 points of economic repair, everything from credit to real estate, bankruptcy law, insurance law, nonprofit formation. We have to, if our people were never issued justice in the form of repair, remember, our people are the unrepaired. We went through the enslavement, through the Holocaust, through the genocide, through the Jim Crow, through the segregation, through the current day mass incarceration and police brutality. But no one ever repaired us. No other country did. This country, its citizens, and its corporations have been morally irresponsible to us, and we haven't intentionally repaired ourselves. So now this unified body can then go on to hold America accountable for its human rights violations against us. We also can start repairing ourselves as we force their hand and their participation in our repair and reparation. And so this is what I wrote in The Solution, but this is really what we are working on. We are working on trying to galvanize more leaders. I think that the families play a very influential part in this because the leaders go where y'all go. Y'all stories are who the leaders are fighting for and standing up for. So if all the families got together and said, hey, look, we're going to be here. We believe in this solution strategy. Let us learn more about it. And now we force everybody. We got to draw a line in the sand. This is what me and my sister Tamika Mallory talked about. She just got kicked off American Airlines a few days ago. She was co-chair of the Women's March. We talking every night. We said, look, the biggest threat to black people right now is other black people. The ones that are the ones that say, well, why are you protesting that? Why are you demonstrating that? Oh, that's just another nigga dead. Them folks who want to believe the truth that everything that happens to us is our fault. They'll never want to admit that there's actually something going on outside of us, that there's some kind of systematic oppression going on. So we draw the line in the sand. That's what this vote does. This Black Vote Day says, hey, look, for y'all Negroes who want to be Americanized, have fun.
Right.
For those who want liberation, who want to... See, when you talk about equality, I believe in equality. But equality doesn't mean that you're the boss of me and I'm your subordinate citizen. See, true equality means that I'm independent and we govern ourselves and we are bosses like you bosses. We sit at the table with America and now let's talk about our issues. See, we don't have true equity or equality. See, we fight for equality and America says, here's a civil rights bill, equality, voila, here you go, shut up.
Right. Right.
But it's not true equality because we have no stake in the game. We have no true positioning. We have no true power. So in order to do that, and I say this all the time, it's just like if we all were, everyone here decided to do a business together. Say we said we all want to go buy some land together. In order for us to do a business, we got to form a business. How are we going to do business without a business?
Right.
So how are we going to nation build? How are we going to do any kind of nation building business without any business? You need an organization bigger than our individual organizations, bigger than our coalitions, bigger than our ideologies, our religions, our sexual orientations. In order for us to do business, so if we're going to do nation business, if we're going to do justice business, what the business is. So we got to organize ourselves. We're being out-organized and out-strategized. See, we on calls with individual leaders, one-on-one, 3 of us talk, 4 of us in the group chat, some of us on Instagram. But look at the NFL. They got 28 to 30 owners controlling over 1,700 athletes. The few that are organized can control the many. So we have to intentionally organize ourselves and come to the table with some legitimate strategy in order for us to truly have justice, the unity and equality that we deserve, and the repair that we deserve and so need. And so that's just, again, a glimpse of what's in my book there. I'm donating them to everyone here. You can pick up a solution book. I thoroughly wrote it down. It's a best-selling book on Amazon, and Civil Rights and Liberty. And I just encourage everyone to whatever the capacity you believe in. And I have a whole economic strategy. We're not going to get into that today. But I want to offer this up, especially to the mothers that were here and the families that were here. And I feel your pain. And I just want to offer up to you all that we do have a course of action that can truly hold this government accountable for what's happening to our people. But we have to get more organized and better strategize as a people, and we got to intentionally do it. And so with that, that's my little short lecture that I want to just give everyone inside of my mind and the research I've done and spoken to elders and others and digested it into an actual solution strategy. My book is called The Solution: How Africans in America Achieve Unity, Justice, and Repair. And we do have a special performance from my queen, who's also a freedom fighter and stands by my side. So I want to properly introduce her. This woman, I knew she was the bomb when she bought me that Quran. She knows I'm not religious, but I submit to the will of Allah. She knows I'm not Christian, but I'm something like Christ. So I teach in the streets, loving the least for life.
Okay.
So yeah, you the bomb for that. What's even doper, she calls me king and promised to have my back.
Okay.
And I believe her. But we all know actions speak louder than words. But when it comes to loving a black man, ain't no queen's actions louder than hers.
Okay.
And when it comes to the physical, ain't too many queens fatter than hers. But that's shallow talk compared to how her smile lights up a room. Natural hair and the stare has me hot like June. And like them hidden figure queens, I'm gonna take a pretty self to the moon, and we out of here. See, this queen I'm talking about, her heart is pure as gold. Visits the elderly every day. Good deeds for her soul. Speaks up proudly for her race. See, my queen is bold. And she nice with her hands, man. My queen is cold. She wiped the tears from my eyes, kept the story untold. She's amazing. See, this queen I'm talking about is one of a kind. Betty Shabazz meets Maya. Shit, my queen is fine. She bad and bougie, got her own. Then my queen is mine. Black power fist in the air. See, to me, that's a dime.
Yes, sir.
She's amazing. I want to introduce you all to my queen, Ernestine the Dream.
Oh,
I want to watch.
I often wonder, if I was hopelessly hanging from a cliff, would you reach your arm out to save me? If I was desperately gasping for air, staring in the face of death, would you press your brown lips against mine and bless me with one last breath, or have they made you completely forget about me? Black men, I'm speaking to you, because it seems as over the years you've lost your love for us, but your love for them grew. But let's not forget, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And it's not that she can't love you, it's just that, black man, I was made for you, sculpted by the hands of God to love, feed, nurture, protect, and compliment you. And there is no ands, ifs, buts, or maybes. It was the black woman's breast milk that even fed the master's baby.
Right.
When you were young and fell and scraped your knee, it was your mother who was there to tend the stitches and fix your breeches. See, the black woman has always been the black man's saving grace, but somewhere between L'Oreal commercials, tanning salons, lip injections, and ass shots, you put us all in a cultural rat race, leaving us with just enough self-esteem for us to chase. Chase a dying breed of a man that's running so far and fast from home, we feel the need to pick up the pace, spewing words of vulgarity, calling us every name in the book. But the Bible says, into a woman, a man is supposed to speak life. The Bible says the man that's found a good thing is the man that's found a wife. But you freely spit these words of obscenity, robbing us of our royal grace. How could you call a black woman a bitch and go home and look your mama in the face? And society will have you thinking the grass is always greener on the other side, but trust and believe when shit hits the fan, the bounce in her hair won't stop her from walking you and those papers straight to Chase, and on that we can bank. Black man, let me help you. The grass is greener where you water it. The more you water, the purer the fruit. And if you'd study the origin of your true history, you'd be watering at the root, because mass media won't educate you on your royal oats. See, they'll have you thinking our history started when we were shipped over in those boats. See, they want to make you forget about black queens like Amina, the queen of Zaria, Candace, the empress of Ethiopia, the queen of Kemet, Nefertiti. See, those are the faces you will never see on TV. And black men don't think shit changed, because ain't shit changed since the 60s. They doing everything but wearing white hoods, burning down churches and flags. Every chance they get, they'll Kim Courtney and Chloe your ass. And I cried tears when I wrote these words, because I'm standing here open like, king, what about me? What about your queen? Don't let these false images of society make you run. There are still good black women out here walking fresh out of the pages of Proverbs 31. And we are crying out like I'm all you need. I'll sew the thread, I'll bake the bread, I'll keep you mentally, spiritually, emotionally fed. Black man, I will pull greatness out of you.
That's right.
I'm preparing myself for the day, like the Bible says, you leave your mother and father, and we become one. I would happily give you your first son. We would be a great team, and we would do things like, I'll teach him how to tie his shoes, and you teach him how to drill the screws, and I'll make us all dinner, and you could just do the dishes. But mass media has convinced you to need 2 chains and need 2 bitches. But just like your mama, when you fall, I'ma always be here to tend the stitches and fix your britches. And my soul grows weary, and my heart sometimes stings, because through all the trials and tribulations, every inch of my body still believes the black man is king. And in case you didn't hear me, yes, the black man is king, and I'll bow down at his presence, and I believe God cut me from his ribs so I can mirror his essence. Black man, take care of it, and it will take care of you. You see, men always think you can do your dirty work, then clean it up after. Like, let me come and her tonight, then tomorrow she could take the morning after. But what you men don't understand is you have to wash your hands before you touch your dick, not just after. Black man, take care of home. Treat your woman like a precious stone. With clean hands and a clean heart, touch her soul. Thank you. What I believe is, before we can repair community, and before we can repair the world and repair our people in this world, we have to repair the relationship between the black man and the black woman. And now more than ever is a time that we have to unify. And my heart just feels so heavy being here amongst all this love, because that's the thread that ties us together, is the love. Now's the time we have to unify, we have to strategize, we have to continue to organize, we have to operate from the same spirit. When Queen called me and put the call to action out, I dropped everything I was doing and came. Jay dropped everything he was doing and came. Yesterday and today, I got a movie coming out today. We got press all day, and I said I have to be here. Because it's about each one teach one, each one reach one. We have to operate from the same spirit. When those calls are called, the call to action is put out, we have to come and show up. And not only do we have to show up, we have to bring somebody with us. We have to operate from the same spirit, the same resilience, the same strength as a Harriet Tubman who made 19 trips to help her people. And that's why we are here. And that's why we have to continue to be here and continue to organize and continue to love on each other.
Thank you.
Give Jay and Ernestine a round of applause. Oh, they already got their books.
I got books right here. How we want to pass them out? They right here.
Yeah, if someone can pass them out. Not sure you come
No, right?
Oh, Greg's got them. That's all what it's about, is black love. And women are the heart of the movement, but we cannot do it alone without our men.
Yep, absolutely.
I want to bring my brother in the movement, Tory Russell. Tory, I met Tory Russell in Ferguson.
No.